Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, even part of my conversation with actor and animal rights advocate Burt Ward, discussing his journey and what he's doing today. Enjoy our program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In international news, Ukrainian defenders dig in as Russia lines up more firepower. Ukrainian forces dug in while Russia lined up more firepower Sunday and tapped a decorated general to take centralized control of the war ahead of a potentially decisive showdown in eastern Ukraine that could start within days. Experts say the next phase of the battle may begin with a full-scale offensive. The outcome could determine the course of the conflict, which has flattened cities, killed untold thousands, and isolated Moscow economically and politically. Questions remain about the ability of Russia's depleted and demoralized forces to conquer much ground after their advance on the capital Kyiv was repelled by determined Ukrainian defenders. Britain's defense ministry reported Sunday that the Russian forces were trying to compensate for mounting casualties by recalling veterans discharged in the past decades. Meanwhile, a senior U.S. official said Russia appointed a general, one of its most seasoned military chiefs, to oversee the invasion. The official was not authorized to be identified and spoke on condition of anonymity. Until now, Russia has had no central war commander on the ground. The new battlefield leadership comes as the Russian military prepares for what is expected to be a large focused push to expand control in the country's east. Russia-backed separatists have fought Ukrainian forces in the eastern Donbas region since 2014 and declared some territory there as independent. The general gained prominence as head of the Russian forces that were deployed to Syria in 2015 to shore up President Bashar Assad's regime amid the country's devastating civil war. U.S. officials say he has a record of brutality against civilians in Syria and other war theaters. Russian authorities do not generally confirm such appointments and have said nothing about a new role for the general, who received the Hero of Russia Medal, one of the country's highest awards, from President Vladimir Putin in 2016. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, speaking Sunday on CNN's State of the Union, played down the significance of the appointment. Western military analysts say Russia's assault was increasingly focusing on a sickle cell arc of eastern Ukraine, from Ukraine's second largest city in the north to Kherson in the south. The narrower effort could alleviate the Russian problem earlier in the war of spreading their offensive too widely over too great a geographic area. In sports, Tigers Masters, no fairy tale ending but still inspiring. The Masters patrons filled in every nook and cranny around the 18th green, awaiting the appearance of the man in red, a scene that's been so familiar to Tiger Woods on so many Sundays at Augusta National, but this one was different. Hunched over and limping noticeably, Woods climbed the deceptively steep hill leading up to the green as the fans slowly rose to their feet, the roar building as they saluted a remarkable comeback, if not a fairy tale of a weekend. "Way to hang in there, Tiger," a man standing back in the crowd belted out. From a strictly golfing perspective, this was hardly the Woods that so many remembered. The man who's won 5 green jackets, the last of them just 3 years ago. The man who'd go down as one of the greatest to ever play the game, even if he never strikes another shot. This Woods, the one hobbling on a rebuilt right leg that he could have lost in that horrific car crash 14 months ago, closed with back-to-back 78s. Still, it was a gratifying experience as the Associated Press, one that Woods clearly didn't regret putting himself through, even if he didn't come close to winning a record-tying 6th green jacket. In national news, the Associated Press says get used to it. Outbreaks give taste of living with coronavirus. The U.S. is getting a first glimpse of what it's like to experience COVID-19 outbreaks during this new phase of living with the virus, and the roster of the newly infected is studded with stars. Cabinet members, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Broadway actors, and the governors of New Jersey and Connecticut have all tested positive. Outbreaks at Georgetown University and Johns Hopkins University are bringing back mask requirements to those campuses as officials seek out quarantine space. The known infections likely reveal only the tip of the iceberg, with actors and politicians regularly tested at work. Official case figures are certain to be vast undercounts of how widely the virus is circulating because of home testing and mildly sick not bothering to test at all. And finally, in entertainment news, Sonic 2 steals weekend box office, but Ambulance stalls. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 sped to the top of the charts in its opening weekend, earning an impressive $71 million according to studio estimates on Sunday. Paramount's PG-rated sequel easily bested the weekend's other major newcomer, Michael Bay's Ambulance, which faltered in theaters. That made the top 5 movies over the weekend. Number 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with $71 million. Number 2, Morbius with $10 million. Number 3, The Lost City with $9 million. Number 4, Ambulance with $9 million. And number 5, The Batman with $7 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Prayer and meditation connects you to God, your higher power. Through prayer, you speak to God, and through meditation, you are listening to God. It is through prayer, meditation, and contemplation you are finally able to hear your inner voice. This is your time to pause and just be, not only with God and yourself, with your entire creative consciousness. Your time spent in prayer and meditation nourishes you on the deepest levels within your body, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Through each of these practices, you are opening your hearts and minds to prepare yourself to receive divine guidance and inspiration. Today, pray for guidance as you dissolve your thoughts through meditation, and always enjoy the day.
We have part of my conversation coming up with actor and animal rights advocate Burt Ward in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Actor and animal rights advocate Burt Ward joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his journey in front of the camera and what it's been like for him to make a difference in the lives of others. Here's a bit of our conversation. Many people have gotten to know you, and even you mentioned that on your website. They got to know you as Robin, as part of the TV show Batman. What has that been like for you, Mr. Ward, to be able to have your career really recognized, and I know a couple years ago, even getting your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
It's been fantastic. You know, I was 21 years old when I was making Batman, and at the time, it became the #1 show in the entire world. We were on twice a week. It's hard to describe what it was like then when everything was batty. I mean, women had hairstyles that were Batman. I mean, kids were putting on towels and around their necks held together with clothespins and jumping off their couches wanting to be Batman and Robin. It was such an amazing, trippy show that was fun for the entire family. And, it's endured. I mean, Batman, here it is, 55 years later, and is still in reruns all around the world.
You become an advocate for animals. You share a very personal story, Mr. Ward, on your website, GentleGiantsPetProducts.com. What has that been like for you to not only be able to help pets, but also to be able to make a difference in the lives of pets?
Let me tell you, for the last 28 years, my wife and I have rescued more than 15,500 dogs. Every one would have been put to death if we hadn't been there to save them. And all of these animals in 28 years have lived in our home with us.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We're back to guys on tomorrow's more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.